Okay, hi you guys. Welcome back to my channel. This is my friend Isabel. We're in teacher training and today we're doing
meditation.
Yeah, we have no idea what else is gonna happen. It's just what we're being told. So we're meditating today.
Yes,
But yeah, so I guess I'm gonna vlog teacher training weekend. So welcome.
Welcome all.
Yes. Lynn, do you want to say hi?
It's a vlog.
We're vlogging for my YouTube channel.
Oh, you're
For my YouTube channel, yeah. We're literally not famous.
I'm the clueless one.
Yes, this is Lynn. She's the one who gave me this binder, you guys. I feel like a studious
I
student.
forgot my binder today.
Oh my god.
I actually couldn't find it. This is so long.
Yeah. Good morning, you guys. It is a new day, and I am finally ready to talk about what happened in yesterday's clips. Of course, like when you guys are watching this, it's not a new day, but like I'm still gonna share like what happened, because what I'm thinking of doing to record these better, to document my like journey through yoga teacher training, is I'm gonna document it on my YouTube channel. Just because I was thinking about doing Instagram, but the problem with Instagram is the captions can only be like a certain length. And I was like, this is just not giving. Like, I need, you know me, like I like to talk. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll try to do the whole weekend. Sometimes I might just do a day or 2 days or something like that, but I figured I'll do this whole weekend. So yesterday it was all about meditation. We did meditation with David. And in the clips, you're about to see the first one, which I'll show now.
Alright, so if I die, I want you to dedicate a yoga pose to me, alright? But not the dancer's pose, because I don't like that posture very much. So anything else that you choose. So I'm leaning into it. I'm definitely feeling it blowing away.
Oh my god. So in that clip, I think you could tell all of us were so nervous and so scared because David literally put an actual arrow on his throat here and just broke it in half. Honey, I was terrified. But let's talk about why he did that and like the whole point. So part of our topic yesterday, we wanted to talk about the fight, flight, or freeze response. Fight, flight, or freeze response. And so before he even like did the arrow thing, all we saw was him bring in the arrows as he was teaching class. And he didn't do anything with them. They were just sitting next to him. And then all of a sudden he was, I'm going to try to get you into either a fight, flight, or freeze response. Like we're going to do this now. We're going to do an activity where we do this now. And so I'm like, okay, but like I'm staring at the arrows. Like I'm noticing that. I was like, are we going to do something with those arrows? Like I'm scared. So the first thing he does is he tells us to touch like, trace our neck down here and touch this. Now I actually absolutely hate touching my neck here. I get really sensitive and squeamish about my neck being touched right here. It's just weird for me. I really don't like that. So when he even asked us like to do it on ourselves, I was like, ah! Like I literally was like cringing at the thought, and I was like, eh. Then he was like, okay, now push into it. I couldn't. I literally couldn't. I was like, this is already so gross for me. And then after we did that activity, and he just talked about like, well, how did that make you feel? Like, did you pull away? Were you able to like do it? And then he's like, okay, so now we're going to do an activity where I need half of the room to go over here and half of the room to go over here, and I'm going to demonstrate it first. I'm like, demonstrate it? What is he talking about? So he picks up one of the arrows. And remind you, I saw that little throat activity we did, so I was like, are we doing something with the arrow in our throat? Because I'm in flight mode. I was already like, no. And then he's like, okay, watch this, and puts the arrow so like you guys saw, so the back part was on the wall and the pointy part was right where he wanted it on his throat here. Honey, absolutely not. And then was talking about, okay, it's your turn to do it. And I was like, I'm telling you right now, look at that Isabel. You guys saw Isabel in the clip, and I was like, Isabel, I'm not doing that. And he was pretty much laughing and was like, guys, like I would be fired if I actually had you do that. Like this was just to get your reaction, to see which response you would have. And I thought, so of course we're all like laughing, because that was just like, a little scary. But anyway, so the whole point was like to see which response you got. I got flight immediately, was not doing it from the jump. So I wanted to share some things that we talked about that I thought were noteworthy for the vlog. And so we talked about like so one thing about David is he's someone who practices Buddhist teachings. So a lot of what he taught us about yesterday had to do with that. And so when it comes to meditation and breath work, because that's also another thing. Number one, do not try that at home. But two, he is like a trained professional for that. Like he does fire walks and does like ice bath things. Like he's trained in the extreme like stuff like that. So seriously, don't. Anyway, but yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so he does a lot of like breath work and meditation work. And so one thing I've always wanted to talk about that I've kind of noticed within my own meditation practice, because I actually really enjoy meditating, is so I was someone who always had this like idea that when you meditate, you have to clear your mind. You have to be at like complete Zen mode, or like just you're not allowed to have thoughts in your brain while you're meditating. That was what I always thought. So then when I did have thoughts that I couldn't control that were during my meditation, I would always be like, oh, my meditation was bad today, you guys. Like, I'll just try again tomorrow. Like, I'd always say my meditation was bad, or I failed at meditating. And it's so funny, like, I recently have been watching videos, and even David brought it up in class yesterday, is that a lot of us see it that way, where it's like, we failed at meditating just because thoughts are in our head, and that is not the point of meditation. Like, it's not a bad thing to have thoughts in your head. Like, the goal is to reach a point where even though the thoughts are going through your head, you are not allowing them to control you or consume you. You are simply observing them and then letting them go, like letting them pass. So it's like if a thought were to go through my mind right now, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it and think about it over and over and over and over and over again. I'm going to observe that, okay, I'm feeling this way. Or, oh, I thought about this. But like, it has nothing to do with my present self. It has nothing, like, I'm safe. No one's hurting me. I'm not hurt, so like let's just let it go and on to the next one, and you just keep doing that and doing that. And something that I really liked about this is something I was able to do, like even with yesterday's meditation, which I'll tell you the different like things we did, and something you could try as well, is I was actually able to get myself to almost clear my head. In the beginning, I definitely had thoughts, like random thoughts would pop up in my head, randomest thoughts. Sometimes my thoughts will bring up a fight I had months ago. Sometimes it'll just be like an impulsive thought. Sometimes it'll be a funny joke that I made for myself and that only I could laugh at type of thing. It'll be the randomest shit. But what I noticed is while I continue to listen to David's voice and try my best to really just focus my mind and body on my breathing and like where the energy and the warmth was going, as I got deeper and deeper to thinking about that, suddenly I wasn't even like, my thoughts just like weren't there, if that makes sense. So it's like they were there, but I wasn't bringing attention to them. I wasn't focusing on them. And that's what helped me calm down. And I think that's really helpful for people who also like me have anxiety, or like if you have panic attacks. I think those exercises are really good because during those times, like our thoughts are racing at like, it feels like your brain's on fire. And so if you're able to get yourself to a point where you can like slow down your breathing so you're not hyperventilating as much, but then also not letting yourself focus on those thoughts, when you can get to that point, you can kind of calm yourself down. And I thought that was a big thing. And then one of my classmates, Olivia, which she actually said something yesterday that was so important and I really liked because I felt the same way, is she was pretty much saying that when she meditates, like she might be able to clear her head while she's meditating and like, feel the same way I was just saying. But then the second it's over, the thoughts come like right back like that. But what she noticed is she's able to kind of step back and observe them more than just like the kind of like I was saying earlier, like take them over. And that's something that I've been noticing in my practice as well, where yes, the thoughts might come racing back in seconds when that meditation's over, but I'm more like, I'm not as angry or sad or whatever extreme emotion I had before doing the meditation. It's not like that anymore. It's just like, they're just exercises. So we did a scan the body exercise. And so what you can do is you lie down on the floor. Now, personally for me, I actually like lying down on the floor when I meditate. That's something that just helps me. I'm working my way back up to being able to sit cross-legged and meditate. That's just something that's a challenge for me. Because for some reason when I do that, I'm more aware of like a pain in my back or like that I'm uncomfortable. And then that distracts me from being able to meditate because then my mind won't stop thinking about that. if I lie on the ground, I haven't had any issues with thinking about other things. Like, I can just, like, focus on my breathing and, like, whatever. So anyway, so you lie down on the ground, closing your eyes, and starting from the top of your head, the crown of your head, imagine something melting, whether that be an ice cube, whether that be a candle, anything that's like melting and soothing and relaxing. You're supposed to imagine it from the top of your head, you know, down to the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, the chin, the neck, like just all the way down. Like slowly just imagine each part of your body being sent some sort of warmth or light directly to it, down to the tips of your toes, and then you go back up. And this is slow. You're not supposed to just go head, shoulders, knees, toes, bam, you know, like that. It's very like, it's slow, it's gradual, and you really gotta like see and feel it melting down your body. It was so nice. But yeah, so that was the first part of the meditation. Then right after we did that, we added like a breath work into it. So it's 2 sharp inhales through the nose, and then you're supposed to just like let your exhale kind of fall out of your mouth. So it's like and you just do that over and over again. And some people were going a little faster if that's what they preferred, and some people were going more at the speed of their breath. That's how I was doing it. And you're supposed to be able to hold that for 5 minutes, or like do that for 5 minutes. I made it to like, I think the 2nd minute before I started feeling kind of lightheaded. So I went back to regular breathing and then started up again. But yeah, that one was a really good exercise. And then after that, you go into, you hold your breath for as long as you can. And then return to your normal breathing. And then from there, David had us picture a time where we felt completely loved, whether that be self-love or by someone else, like just a time where you genuinely felt so loved. And you're supposed to like think about that time, remember that time, and then immerse yourself in that feeling, in that moment that you had with that person or with yourself. And you had to reach up with one of your hands and grab that memory, put it into your heart, like push it into your heart, and then turn over in the fetal position and lie there, and then come up, still closing your eyes, crisscross applesauce, and just taking a moment for yourself, like really scan your body and your thoughts, and then reflect on it, journal. So that's pretty much what we did. And I was going to share what I thought. So how does your mind and body feel after breathing exercise and meditation? I had wrote down, I feel very calm and relaxed. Honestly, a little tired, but like in a good way. Just like my eyes were heavy. I feel like I got a moment of peace and clarity. I feel warm. I do feel hungry, but I think my mind is at ease. It felt like I poured light and love into myself. And the chatter in my mind was silenced. And there was like a quietness about it towards the end. So yeah, it was a really good exercise and something I definitely would recommend to anyone who gets a little anxious or maybe has panic attacks and stuff like that. And then something he suggested is one of the extreme things you can do that I think I will try at some point is, so you take a bucket of ice, water, like you fill up a bucket with ice and water. You don't have to do the ice if you don't want to, but it needs to be like freezing cold water, so the ice just helps make it colder. I think he said around 30 degrees. I'll have to double check that. And then you're supposed to take a deep breath in and then submerge your face into the water and hold it for as long as you can. And then when you can't hold on any longer, come up, pat your face, wipe the water off, do the breathing exercises, and then do it all over again if you need to. Sometimes it might just be the first initial face submerging into the water might do it for you. But apparently what's supposed to happen is, because when you're like having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, your heart rate is up really, really, really high. So when you submerge yourself into extreme temperatures like that, conserves oxygen and your heart rate will lower. And then you can maybe do the breathwork exercises after. But that is something for anyone who needs a little assistance in feeling a bit better for that. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything we talked about. That's not everything, but those are the significant things I took away that I actually liked and I wanted to share with you guys. So to recap, there was a breathwork exercise. It was the 2 sharp inhales and exhale, relaxed exhale. And then the body scan meditation with the breathwork and sending a piece of love to your heart. And then it was the ice bucket thing, if you'd ever wanted to try that. More open-minded about your meditation practice, I think, would also be really helpful, because it is true. I think a lot of us think meditation is this one, like we have one, what's the word, idea of it, I guess, and it's just not accurate or true. And I feel like a lot of us are capable of being able to meditate and have it be beneficial. We just gotta choose the right one. And that's the other thing we talked about. You're not gonna like every single, or like connect with every single type of meditation or exercise or technique, but there's so many that there's definitely at least one that you can connect with. Also, one that I learned from Hitomi is a YouTuber on here that I absolutely love. She's incredible. But one time I was watching one of her videos, and one of the meditations she was describing was called, I don't know if it's called the smiling meditation, but that's like the point of it. And so you like sit in your position or whatever, and you literally send a smile to different parts of your body. And like sometimes I do this because it actually feels so good, and I will start giggling or like laughing. And it's just so nice when you've been so like down or feeling like shit, and then all of a sudden you're just laughing and like just sending love and happiness to parts of your body. It's so nice.